Let me share our PowerPoint. This. Let's start briefly from our message board and discuss this no self, no problem. I posted as a Buddhist wisdom. And Taylor is answered no ego, no problem. It was a wonderful thought. Let me tell you right away why I want to talk about it. Because for enlightenment or even for reducing anxiety, reducing depression, reducing any bad emotions and be happier, ego is playing the main role. And if we won't be able to clarify what is that, what's in the world is ego exactly, we won't be able to work on it, right? If we don't know what is that exactly, how can we work? First, it's a clear clarification. Now, what do you think? What do you think about no self, no problem as a Buddhist wisdom, and the Taylor comment, no ego, no problem? Yes, Sean, please.
I think no self, no problem means like if you know yourself, like personally, then you won't have any problems. Like to be true to yourself, I think is what that would mean.
Okay, it's interesting approach, but they're saying no self, no problem.
So being selfless then. So not the knowing this of yourself. So it would be being selfless.
Selfless.
Like not having any, it would tie into that, and not the wanting and the desire, maybe even the desire to outdo people too, you know, always wanting more and to outdo the Joneses. Have you ever heard that saying?
Mm-hmm.
To outdo the Joneses, or like you're trying to do better than your neighbor. If your neighbor buys a nice car, you go buy a nicer car.
Right. So what
Keeping
is
up with the Joneses. It's
Great.
keeping up with the Joneses.
What is that exactly? What do you think? Selfishness?
To keep up. Well, you know, to always want to be better than the other person sometimes. To be too competitive sometimes isn't always a good thing. I mean, depends
Beautiful.
on why you're being
I
competitive.
like what you said, and we will define what is that what you are talking about. So to be better, what is that? Selfishness or ego, or what is that? Good comments, good thoughts. Anybody else, please? Just whatever you think. There is no wrong answer. This is just your opinion. Okay, then I can tell mine. Let's clarify what is ego, right? Ego, a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. So to me, it looks that while Taylor is right, she is right partially, because ego is a part of ourself, right? So while she's right, it's a part of us, no ego, no problem. To me, Buddhist wisdom is deeper, and they are saying no self. So it's no self-esteem, it's no self-importance. Do you see how Buddhist wisdom is going deeper, and how the world we can live without no self, right? Good if we will remove our ego, then it would be better. I would say no ego, better life. I wouldn't say no ego, no problem. But again, guys, this is just my opinion. Let's look in psychoanalytic theory. The self or I is in contact with the external world through perception. And this is even more confusing. It means that we actually need the self. So what then Buddhist wisdom is saying? That Buddhist saying is very, very deep. They are saying that we are really need to reduce everything, our desire, our wish. We don't need to demand anything. We don't need to want anything from this world. Only in this case, the enlightenment will come. And definitely we are not there. But just to understand how deep and is this saying. On our level, I believe what Taylor said is wonderful. So let's figure out what is our ego. And while I was talking, one person said confidence. And I found it's very interesting. Let's define what's the difference between confidence and ego. Again, guys, it's very important. It's not we are going to a different direction. We need to reduce our ego because ego is the source of suffering. And we need to really understand what is that. What do you think the difference between confidence and ego? Yes, Sean?
I think confidence is more like, I don't know, your belief that you can do something, you know, versus your ego is, you know, who you think you are, I guess, you know.
Do know, I like your answer. You're completely right. Anybody else?
So, yeah, like you said, I think the confidence is something more sane, I would say, like that brings you to grow in a sane way. The ego, like you said before, it brings you to suffer more than growing your personality.
Okay, it's a good approach. It's a good approach.
Can I say
Brian.
something? I don't know if it's right or wrong. Can you perceive the ego is like something what people think about us, no? It's like the human standards, other people's standards about how I supposed to be can be ego. And maybe confidence is something that I believe is not, I'm not influenced by other people. It's what I believe.
It's
without any other people influence.
It's a good approach. You are guys, like we are adding to this definition from many different points, and all of you were saying right, and we are adding. So don't be hesitant to participate. Hey Brian, what do you think?
Well, I think ego is more almost I'm not exactly sure. I know that you can separate ego and confidence, but like you can have a very high ego and everything, but lack confidence, or you know, it's like, and then you can have strong confidence but very little ego. You know, it's trying to think of like examples or something where to illustrate it, but you know, it's like you could think it would be like, I mean, like a person with a large ego but a low confidence would be the kind of person who would seek to dominate a conversation and sort of make everything
Okay.
about their self or whatever, about what they think and stuff like that. Like they'd have a very large, very high ego because everything sort of has to be about them and something like that. Whereas you can be very confident in yourself and what you think and stuff like that, but not have a high ego.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I can't figure out how to exactly put that in the sense of, you know, like psychological or whatever, but
Mhm,
sort of as a
mhm.
comparison, the two aren't really the same thing. And that having a strong confidence or whatever in yourself sort of, but a low ego would sort of, you know, keep you grounded or something. Sorry, I just can't figure out how to put that in this sense.
No problem. You did what you could, and I got a couple of good points from what you said. Thank you so much. And let me define it. So confidence, how Shan said correctly, it's faith in your own ability and beliefs in yourself. And it's completely necessary and it's completely wonderful. But the ego is actually entirely different. Unlike confidence, the ego operates out of self-interest. And also it seeks approval and validation at all costs of others. So this difference I found very tremendous. Yes, Brian?
Well, I was just going to say, Lena, I think that that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty accurate explanation of it, I guess.
Mhm.
I mean, confidence just gives you sort of the strength, you know, in yourself and the belief in yourself, whereas
Mhm.
ego is sort of, you know, something you build up and sorry, just gonna go on. Anyhow, that's a good explanation, I think.
Thank you. And I really wanted to that we would understand that and didn't mix confidence with the ego. And this is a very interesting question. After we defined what is that, how can I know if I am egoistic? Because we know that we need to work on it, but how can we know? We know about somebody else, right?
I think in some sense everybody has an ego to a certain extent.
Right.
It just, I mean, you can't. Everybody has it to a certain extent, but I guess recognizing, you know, just learning to sort of differentiate from, you know, I'm sorry, I can't think of exactly how to put it again.
That's fine.
It's just, I mean, you know, it's about learning, kind of like what we're doing right here is beginning to, you know, to sort of learn, separate yourself from your mind. You know, it's like separating yourself from your thoughts and everything, and learning when like your actions and your thoughts and everything are running rampant versus, you know, like in your conversations and things like that.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's the only way you can really learn like how your level of ego, right, is being able to really separate
That's right.
yourself from your mind.
You are telling the techniques already, what we need to do. The question is first, how I can know that I'm egoistic. Maybe I'm wonderful. Maybe I am a saint and I don't need all this stuff. By Lena, by all. I'm great. No, let me answer. Okay, so the answer is actually my answer is pretty easy. You constantly compare yourself to other people. Better looking, better, more intelligent, happier, more wealthy. As well, you constantly compare yourself to people who not good as you are, less intelligent, lower status, and you feel jealous when the other people do well. It's pretty simple. Hello, Richard. Nice to see you. How was your week?
Very nice. I had a beautiful time, and thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let me quickly tell you briefly what we were talking about. You remember that on our message board, no self, no problem. Taylor said no ego, no problem. It was wonderful adding. However, we figure out that ego is a part of ourself, right? We are not pure ego. We have something else. Then we asked confidence versus ego, right? I think we talk already about it, and we figure out that confidence, it's about believe in yourself, and the ego when you believe in yourself for expense of somebody else, right? You are proving yourself at the expense of others. And how do I know if I'm egoistic? We discovered that when a person constantly compare yourself to people who are better and envy to them, and at the same moment compare himself or herself to people who are less intelligent and have low status, and of course he doesn't like them and do not respect them. This is how can we figure out that we are egoistic. And if we have confidence in yourself, and if we are comparing yourself with yourself, we are not egoistic. Even, see, this is how interesting. We are still thinking about ourselves, right? So it means it's nothing wrong to think about yourself. It's nothing wrong to do your progress for yourself. It's wrong when we compare, okay, we are great, we were here, you haven't been here, so you're lower than me. Or we see somebody else and say, oh my God, I so envy to him. And I want to share with you the last thing about more clarifying what does mean no self, no problem, no ego, no problem. It was the words of enlightened person. He actually said that ego is useful and necessary for functioning in our human world. And I remember Brian was saying that before, that ego is necessary. So you were completely right, Brian. So we just need to differentiate where is a good ego and where is a bad ego. You remember right now, I won't repeat where is the bad ego when we compare ourselves to others. So let's return to that enlightened person, what he said. And he said, the ego also is the part of our self-awareness. If we won't have ego, we won't be able to have self-awareness. However, it's distorted by condition to see everything separate. And this Eckhart Tolle will say all the time that we see ourselves separate. And as we see ourselves separate, anxiety and fear are raised. So we basically see ourselves like a separate identity. I'm responsible for everything to do. And to understand that we are not separate, we actually need to go beyond thoughts. And beyond thoughts, it just stop thinking. And once we realize that the egoic sense of separation self wouldn't be anymore a reality. However, we will still use it, but we will use it for our communication and social activity, and it will be identified like a spoon or hammer. What right now is coming, is going on. Right now, our egoids we are. And we are limiting ourselves to our perception, to our collection, to our conditioning. And when we go beyond of, this is why Eckhart Tolle, this is form, and our thoughts inside of that form. So, and if we go beyond, only after we will see the reality. Right now, we are in our box, with our thoughts, with our conditioning, it's impossible to see the reality. But this is, I just made a very small research. I just wanted to see, of course, physics, we know physics, and right now it's quantum physics, right, more popular. I found out fantastic information, guys. You know that from my college, I know that if you want to find some serious information, don't look for .com. .com, it can be, I can open website, anybody can open website and read and write whatever they want, it's just opinion. Go for some serious website like edu.edu or .gov. I'm right, Brian? Okay, well, so this is, you can see it's .gov. And I was just looking for quantum physics definition. Simple as it is. Let's read. Is anybody, please read the definition. Sean, would you like to read? Yes, please.
Quantum physics is more than physics. It is a new form of mysticism, which suggests the interconnectedness of all things and beings and the connection of our minds with a cosmic mind.
Wow. And the last sentence as well.
Nothing is happened as an isolated event. It's only appear to be that.
It's already science. It's already said on .gov. How many decades will need to us to understand it, to even start to believe in it? I think a couple decades until people will shake their old beliefs and our old beliefs that we are a separate identity. So anybody wants to say something? Yes, Richard.
Yeah, just viewing some YouTube videos on quantum physics and just learning about some of the things that that are so unexplainable, like these connections or interconnectedness, where two particles that could be spread across a galaxy react together in unison for some strange reason. And also the definition of consciousness, although it's understood that consciousness is an actual thing, the explanation of it is still unknown. So yes, I definitely agree, and have looked at some of these, especially some of Einstein's work on this, and yeah, I agree. Everything is interconnected in some way.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And let me just came into my mind. This is will be supported by Eckhart Tolle. Do you see, right? Let me highlight. Please, can somebody read what this paragraph? This which I highlight. It's very important. Just at least this. Yes, Brian.
Okay. It wasn't through the mind, through thinking, that the miracle that is life on earth or your body was created and is being sustained. There's clearly an intelligence at work that is far greater than the mind. How can a single human cell measuring 1/1000th of an inch in diameter contain instructions within its DNA that would fill thousands of books of 600 pages each?
What can I say more? This is in addition to what we were talking right now. And when we read it, we didn't pay much attention. We could say, wow, but that's it. But guys, just one cell, which we even cannot see, can fill 1,000 books of 600 pages each. One little cell which we cannot see, and we are with our minds try to explain how the universe is working, how God was, what kind of God and what he's doing. We even try to explain what he likes and what he doesn't like. Wow. We cannot explain one cell of us DNA, which is right now laying down, but we are trying to explain that. This is why Eckhart Tolle, he's saying that, for example, religion, it's just a piece of security, sense of security and false knowledge. And he's honestly saying it's so complicated. What by this he's saying. The miracle of life is so high of our mind. We basically need to accept we cannot understand it. We just can't. And that's it. And relax and let it go. We cannot explain everything. Or we can sit, live with full knowledge and feel how great we are. But is it great? It's actually the major source, not the one, but one of the major source of sufferings. Our false beliefs. Okay, yes, Brian.
Well, even in our own existence, I guess we didn't really have any we didn't have any control over that, or at least not. I mean, you have a certain amount of control. Obviously, you can do away with yourself, but I'm saying in the basic existence, in our own individual existence, we individually, like I had no control over my coming into existence, is what I'm getting at, right?
Yes.
Like we had no control over that, and it's like even something as basic as their own existence and stuff, we had no control over that. So you can, sorry, but I guess what I was trying to get at is that now I've completely lost my train of thought. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Anybody else? Okay. So let's continue. We have this, and I want to discuss it later because this right now it's going more to the topic which we are talking right now. So we figure out, see the line, we figure out what is ego, right? Then we figure out that everything is interconnected. Even quantum physics, science, and .gov is saying that. And what we need to do? We still want to be happy. We still want to enjoy our life. And in fact, we we were created to enjoy. We weren't created to suffer. I guarantee you. As soon as we get rid of those thoughts, or will find where really you are, you will feel their pure joy. And everything in the world, they feel it. I don't want to go into big details, but when I did full-time Tai Chi and Qigong, I was meditating a lot. And I was doing Qigong a lot. I was a Tai Chi, I am a Tai Chi instructor. And through that, I've seen a couple of visions. And right now, I don't do it that intensively. I don't have those visions. And those visions were so clear that you cannot be mistaken that it's really something. And through that, I can tell you for sure, I experienced that everything in this world have joy. Plants have joy just from growing. If they wouldn't have a joy, why they would bother to grow? Why they would bother to, for example, in a forest, they are fighting with each other. Do you think if they are bored, if they don't enjoy, they wouldn't do that? They are alive, you cannot deny it. They are alive. They have basic, minimal, but basic, I can say even feelings. Let's go to animals. Look how happy they are and playful. If they would be bored, why the hell they would be fighting for their lives? They have pure joy of living because they don't have that clouded thoughts. And now we are. Why would we different from everything? Like plants are happy, enjoy their lives, animals are thrilled, enjoy, and we are poor humans. We need to suffer. Not at all. We also come here, we also enjoy, we also have pure that joy. We need to find it. And it is within us. It's not around us. We bought that, we went there, we enjoyed that, our children happy, we are happy, our mother and father happy, we are happy. No, everything is inside. And if we are happy, and the other people will be happy, so it's always around. Okay, thank you. And what do you think about this? What Eckhart Tolle said, that surrender is when you don't ask anymore why. And to what we need to surrender? To everything and do nothing, just lay down and say, yeah, I surrender, don't touch me, I surrender. Please give us any of your thought, what you think about it. Yes, Monica.
Okay, so I can say something about this because I really force myself, I would say, to surrender. For me, what that means, I saw on myself that when I surrender, so when I really understand that I cannot control everything, and I just let things be, just let people be the way they are, situation, the way they come, I live so much better. And I feel like I'm in peace. And when I'm in peace, everybody around me are in peace. And it's like, because, you know, nowadays we have so many issue, problem, or we are sick or break up or whatever it is. I notice that it depends on the reaction we have, right? So I try it on myself. When I surrender to the situation, to the people, to the issue, things, the solution is right there. It comes. It's like energy, right? When you think things are gonna be fixed by the universe, by surrounding, it happens. for real it happened. I tried on myself because I used to be overwhelmed because of the job I do. I have so many responsibilities. And when you try to resolve everything, it doesn't work. I mean, I really, I'm full of thoughts and I get overwhelmed. But when I surrender and I think, okay, everything is under control and there is a solution for everything, that's when I really realized that life, it's much easier.
It's a beautiful, beautiful opinion. Thank you so much. Yes, Richard.
This particular quote reminds me of the word acceptance, or accept. When you accept something, you stop fighting it and you stop asking why. Accepting something can now redirect your mind to the word what should I do? And that's more in keeping of what I normally think of, is that instead of focusing on the problem or why the problem, that focusing on solutions, as Monica said, and answering the word what should I do?
But good adding. You already went with explanation deeper. Good adding. Anybody else? Yes, Brian.
That's very proactive of you, Richard. Being very proactive, it's don't worry, don't think so much about the why, but just the what are you going to do now? I like that.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? This is very important topic. I really wanted you would say what you think. Doesn't matter. Please don't hesitate to have mistakes. There is no mistakes. It's just our opinions. Yes, Sean.
I think it goes to like what Richard said about acceptance, accepting the things that you can't change and just, worrying about the things that you can, changing mostly ourselves. We should probably work on ourselves harder than we work on our jobs
Yes.
and move forward from that.
So thank you so much, guys. Valentina, you don't want to say anything?
I think when you surrender, you don't fight anymore with yourself. You just use the energy, that you used to fight to find the solution. And I like what Brian said, just don't question anymore. Just focus on the solution.
Thank you, Valentina. You added one more beautiful point. Guys, your answers were so beautiful that I really cannot, it's very difficult to add anything. Monica, beautifully. Richard added point. Valentina added point. Sean and Brian, you all guys added something, and our answer is much fuller right now. Thank you. So yes, I've seen many times when it's actually every religion is saying that. It's really not new, and Jesus was saying absolutely the same. So how to understand that? It's of course, it doesn't mean that don't do a thing. I surrender, I won't do anything, and the universe will solve it for me. No, it's surrender of the situation, where you are, in what condition you are. I am where I am. I am who I am. Accept it. It's really important to understand, again, what I am right now. It doesn't matter where I am. It doesn't matter who I am. I am who I am. I am where I am. And from this point, to start to improve your situation. And how Monica said, the universe will help you. or how universe will help you. You can say God help you, you can being help you, universe help you, simply because your mind wouldn't cloud it with the anxiety. It's simple like that. The physics, do you remember quantum physics? We are interconnected with everything. We are interconnected with the mind of God or universe. And when we stop clouding with anxiety, the answer we will hear. Basically, the universe is shouting us, do this, do this. But we are with our anxiety, we don't hear. So what is anxiety? Anxiety is basically we are going against the life. We don't accept it, we resist. Simply, anxiety is a resistance to life. And now imagine, do you remember I was telling you all the time about cell? We are a cell of God. And what, for example, one of my cell will start to have anxiety. The cell wouldn't be able to change what I want to do. And so we cannot change if we came to this situation. So we need to accept and we will find the solution. Or even if right now we won't hear the solution, at least we will start to work toward better what we need with clear mind. Almost satisfied and happy. I am where I am who I am, yeah, and I love myself. Okay, what can I do? Yes, Brian?
Well, I was going to say, sort of what you're talking about. Well, before, I guess, is kind of the concept of the, of the difference going back to the difference between the circle of influence and the circle of concern, right?
Yes, yes.
Where, like the past or whatever is outside your control, and sort of obsessing over it or whatever is not going to help you get anywhere. But focusing on your circle of influence and growing that is kind of the ultimate way forward, I guess, in any situation.
Good, very good adding. However, right now we are going deeper. What you said is absolutely correct. However, circle of concern, it's in Mr. Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's when we worry what we cannot change. Government, people around us, weather conditions, right? And many people are worried about it. And they concentrate on yourself, what we can change. However, why I'm saying that we are going deeper, people who have anxiety, they actually also can have anxiety about themselves. I am not good. I am not smart, right? So, and we are going deeper and we need to accept that as well. So accept totally. Just try. I'm completely sure that many of us, including me, didn't try it. And we are living how we lived before. Okay, this is our surrender. And this is the last one. Love does not want or fear anything. What are your thoughts about it? Of course, it's kind of mean the real love, not love what we are understanding, and not conditioned love. Usually we are operating by conditioned love, right? Yes, Richard.
Well, fear is a reaction to the unknown, but love should make us feel free, independent, or free to live our lives. It shouldn't be constricting. And so if we feel free and we allow others to be free, then it's also going to be a lack of fear. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts.
Okay, okay. Anybody else? What kind of love do we have? Everybody wants something from our loved one, right? When we got married, we are the man thinking, I will enjoy that woman. And the woman thinks, oh, my man is so strong, he will protect me. Nothing wrong with it, but this is conditioned. How's about fear? Everybody afraid to lose, right? Who they love. This is our love. But love does not want to fear anything. Yeah, this is basically, if we love, we don't want anything from that person.
I can add one more
Yes.
thing on
Yes.
the one, is that in love we should be giving and not expecting in
Mhm.
return.
Mhm.
And if we do get in return what we give, then that's perfect. At some point, you decide whether it is love or it isn't love. And if you're not feeling that you receive in return what you give, then it's probably not love. But if it is love, you can continue to give. And giving is all that you should do. You shouldn't want anything in return. Yeah.
Yes, yes, good adding. However, we need to see how much is it going. Is it going for good? Is it going for a good purpose, what we are giving, or it's going already too much and going to the point that it's gives a side effect to that? For example, Jesus said, if you have some problems with a person, for example, you offend a person or you taking care of person and he or she doesn't respond to you, or you in fight with someone, come to that person and ask him or connect to him, then do it 3 times. After that, you can ask your friends and come to have a peace or explain to that person the first time. But if after that person, for example, wouldn't forgive you or wouldn't change her bad behavior, just go away and live your life. This is up to you. I don't say you anything, but this is Jesus said. And let's come back. We discussed love does not want anything. Richard, thank you so much. Beautifully said. And about fear. So real love do not afraid to lose. If, for example, I really love someone, and it doesn't matter who we love, right? We can love our children, we can love our beloved one, for example, and who I love, he's leaving me. If I really love him, I need to believe that he is doing what he thinks is the best for him. And I still need to love him and continue to wish him the best. And it's also toward our children. If they grown up and they decide that they need some other way, how Richard said, we don't need to keep them next to us, and we don't need to afraid to lose them. We need to let them be free and choose what they want to do. And if we are suffering, it's a pure sign of attachment. And attachment also, Maharaj is saying it's the cause of one of the main cause of sufferings. Okay, if anybody wants to add anything. And please, any review of our homeworks. Who are new, Monica? We are having homework after every class. Homeworks are our practice. If we want practice, it will become, our meetings become a new entertainment. Yes, it's a high entertainment. It's entertainment. It's not going to the bar, right? It's much higher. However, it's still entertainment. We are coming and spiritually entertain ourselves. Nothing wrong with it. If you want to do that beautifully, I'm happy to see you, and your opinions was wonderful today. But however, we want to have a progress, right? We want to live better, and for that we need to do it. So for whom it's new, please read it. And Monica, if you would like, you can join our WhatsApp group chat where I post our homework. I post our recording meetings and we can, I post all those quotes and we can discuss, continue our discussion. Just in a chat, send me please your phone number if you're interested. Meanwhile, anybody wants to say something. And this is our homework number 3. When we try to listen, what is around us. Did you try to listen to your thoughts? Did you try to feel yourself? Did you try to hear just what you're going? And you, of course, you in this way, you will be automatically free of thoughts. What's the benefit? It's very difficult to disidentify yourself with your thoughts because we grew up this way. We live it all our lives. How we can do it? It's almost impossible. But with this, we can do it. As soon as we will start, for example, homework number 3, when we start to listen, our mind is shutting down and we can at least have the perspective, oh, okay, now I understand what is that. Or when we start to listen our voices in our head, or we'll start to pay attention to our feelings. This is also everything to shut down our mind. Yes, Brian?
Come on. Okay. I know, I know this week, so I was having a conversation with my former supervisor, and we were talking and stuff, and we got into a conversation, about politics and stuff, and I know I began to recognize, I began to recognize that, I began to sort of, I would often sort of go into this, I don't know, I view it as sort of, you know, like you sort of black out where you sort of differentiate, or I'm not exactly sure how to explain it. If you haven't really had the experience, it's difficult to explain, but you sort of almost stop really thinking or seeing anything outside of yourself.
Okay.
And you become very, you know, a lot of times people who sort of go into this kind of thing, they become very like animated, and, you know, so they start arguing and stuff like that. And I know I have, where I get very angry and everything like that. And anyhow, I guess I began to realize while I was talking to my supervisor that this is where I was going, you know, and I recognized that, you know, that because it's really a phenomenon of the mind as much as anything, you know, that you sort of blank out and your mind sort of takes over or whatever. And I know while I was having that conversation, I began to really feel that sort of taking over, I guess.
Mhm.
And I sort of, I sort of stopped, I guess, as it were, and sort of tried to practice, you know, the idea of creating like a gap or whatever between what I was doing. And I just sort of, you know, the observing of the mind or whatever, you know, that I observed that what was happening, and sort of stepped away from what I was saying and doing and stuff. And so, you know, like this week, I know, which in essence, I guess, is really homework number 2 here, or I think, is that homework 2 or homework number 1? I can't remember exactly, but you know, it's observing what the mind is doing and stuff, and trying to step away from it and just, you know, just really observe it. And so I know I myself, anyhow, I was trying to practice this stuff.
It's awesome. What you are saying right now, it's a huge, it's not even little step. It's one of the main huge step to realization. And the power of the 7 habits, I was saying many times, but I know until person doesn't realize that my words was just empty. First, in order to fix ourselves, we need to find where is our problem. And if you think it's easy, and if you think that we know where is our problem, no, it's not that easy. But how to find the problem? Just see where you have problem with anybody. Doesn't matter who that. If you have problem with a person, this means that you are doing something wrong. But what we are doing? We are defending ourselves. This is not me. This is the government. This is because of the times right now. This is because my spouse. This is because father. This is because mother. No. If you have a problem with any particular person, this you need to be honest with yourself and stop to deny it and surrender. It is what it is. I am where I am. I am ended up with this, and only after you will have realization where you are wrong, like Brian said right now. And only after that you can start to fixing your problems. But as long as you will deny, you will live with that problem. Thank you, Brian. Great step. Yes, Richard, please.
These homeworks remind me of something. They focus on the eyes and the ears. And I recall that I was making my own analogy of the mind being a computer, and we are like the programmer. But as in a regular computer, it has a keyboard or a mouse, which are considered input devices. And while you're typing, the computer is pretty much reflecting what you're doing with your input device. And in our case, as humans, the eyes and the ears are basically input devices. And as we're using these to take things in, our mind is just focusing on absorbing that rather than other things.
Awesome, awesome. You give a great example. So we are using all our lives, what we are doing, we are using our eyes and our ear, and we are bringing it to our computer. Computer is analyzing, and whatever we need, some question we are asking, computer is giving us the answer. And Eckhart Tolle is offering us to go beyond the collection of our vision and what we've heard. And look around, who is perfect, from whom we got our collection in our mind. Obviously, from who is around. Were your parents perfect? Yeah, they loved you, but they weren't perfect. Were your neighbor perfect? In school? And the next, even now, nobody is perfect, but we are the collection, what we see and what we hear. Thank you, Richard, beautiful lady. And I can tell you this homework I'm taking from, not from myself, I'm taking from Eckhart Tolle. However, I listened many books of him, I read summary, and what he is missing, he's actually missing some methodic, some practical part. And it was in summary the biggest critique of him. And while I agree with them, let's see, we need to understand why he got his enlightenment like this. He really doesn't know how to practice. Probably Sean, he's a teacher, he knows that it's not necessarily a genius or a very successful person can be a good teacher. Or very talented individual, it's not necessarily he's a good teacher, but a person who is normal, like without all the genes, can be a wonderful, very talented teacher, and especially a person who went through some suffering and reach something by himself or herself. That person be a wonderful teacher, almost a genius teacher, and he can teach people. But right now we see as Eckhart Tolle got his enlightenment like this, he even didn't know that he got an enlightenment. He didn't put much effort to it, but he was suffering, of course. He doesn't know how to put that methodic. And so because I'm reaching other people who actually got enlightenment by their willpower. And let's start from the first. It's Jesus. He went to the desert for 40 days. And the other people, for example, Maharaj, he reached enlightenment for 3 years, but for 3 years, constant, everyday work on it. And some people reach it in 10 years and 20 years. And some people didn't reach it at all. And some of them put their lives to that. So because I'm saying we are all here, and it's not necessarily we all reach the enlightenment first, and the second, maybe not everybody even need it. Because when people reach enlightenment, it's not something we will be smarter, or we will be, everything will start fall on us from the sky, money and everything like triumph. No, everything will be remain the same. We will just know the truth. That's it. So it's up to you. Can you release everything, like all your desires, all wishes, in order to know the truth? Or you just want to live better and live without anxiety and live happier. So this is all on the way we will get it. Yes, Brian?
I had actually wanted to add on Richard's thought, but now I kind of feel like that was so long ago that. But I was thinking about, Eckhart Tolle would think of, would probably use a very similar analogy for the brain as a computer or whatever, and thought and everything. When we let our lives become, dictated by thought and stuff like that, that's almost like a virus in a computer, I guess. Anyhow, that's a conversation for another day, but it was just kind of, I was just trying to build on Richard's.
It was beautiful, Edin. Yes, I agree with you. Thank you. And for homework 1, 2, and 3, let me share my realization. So I'm working on it, and as much I'm working constantly, I already have some results which I'm very happy to share with you. Recently, I was in one situation which I was at the same moment, I was very uncomfortable. It was cold. I was hungry. And plus it was some distraction around me. And Eckhart Tolle, how I remember, he's saying all the time, concentrate on now, right? So how can I concentrate on now if I wanted to get rid of that now as soon as possible? So this is a little bit tricky question. I just want to touch the base of everything. For example, when we have anxiety, but we are here and we are warm, we are fed, we have roof on about our head, we are living in a beautiful country, but we are having problems and anxiety because we circle in the same thought. This, I think, we covered in the first part of our meeting very carefully, right? Now, different situation, when you are actually in the situation which you want to get rid of it, what to do in that situation. However, I want to say right away, it's not that bad because it's usually temporary, but still, what to do? Yes, Monica?
This is an amazing question, and in the right moment, because you say right, we need to think about now, but what if we're living a really tough moment? So it's you want to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
And it's a really complicated to also, like it says right here in the homework, to just be aware of the surrounding, what's going on, the sounds, the taste, what you hear. But most of the time you cannot do it if you're living in a bad timing. So what I personally do is like you say, first of all, I always think it's not forever. It's just right now. The feelings you're having, the thoughts, is just right now. So what I do, actually what I tell to myself is just leave this sensation, leave these feelings, just let them come inside you, acknowledge them, and let it go. That's what I do all the time when I meditate, because you try to be aware, to
I'm sorry.
bless you,
Thank
stay
you.
present, but so many thoughts come. So what I do is I acknowledge them and then I let them go, and I try to pay attention again at my present moment. Or I always think about the goals I want to reach, the joy I have in my life, and to practice to be grateful.
Awesome. Awesome. Very beautiful answer. Anybody else? Well, I totally agree with Monica. Very spiritual, deep, beautiful answer. So first, I'm joining your answer, and I'm adding what I went through, what you said, and I have something else. While I am practicing, I started to feel, and I shared with you last time, I started to feel inside of myself the joy. Definitely, maybe it helped. It's helped to me my visions before. When I mentioned to you, when I was a Tai Chi and Qigong instructor, I know, I feel it, I know that. But however, with the removing thoughts and going inside of ourselves and using our homework number 2 for feelings, everybody can feel it. And this is my sacred place where I can jump into that place and feel joy. So what was, I went inside of myself. First, I accept how Monica said. Second, I acknowledge that it's not forever. It probably for a couple of hours will be, or even for a couple of days, right? It's still temporary. And then I went into my sacred place, and I was there. And I cannot tell you that suddenly, by miracle, noise become wonderful, a song of birds, the annoying noise, I mean, or for example, I stopped to be hungry, or I stopped to be cold. No, I still experience that, but on much, much less scale. And all that wasn't able to affect, all that noise, hungerness, cold, annoying, didn't affect my mood. I still was happy. And I listened to Eckhart Tolle, and exactly that moment he said that, what I experienced. I would, for example, this is 100%. What I would feel anger, frustration, and probably I would be unhappy. Not probably, I would be unhappy, right? With all 4 distractions which I had, 100%. But my peace and happiness where not happiness, my peace where I went to my place took 40%. So all these 4 distractions become 60% instead of 40. And with practice, my sacred place will start to bring more. It's just a beginning. It will start be 50%, and then it will start to be 60% and 80%. So don't think that when we are, for example, will be aware and enlightened or well practiced, that we stop seeing anything bad, we stop feeling anything bad. No, it will just become minimal, less and less. And we will be trained that much that it will stop bothering me. Why was bothering me all those 4 distractions? Because I used to pay full attention to them, right? But already 40% of peace and joy, which I was able, not forcefully, I was able to use it, it's already was helpful. So I look forward for my 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. Yes, Richard.
Just a quick additional comment is I find that the word, as your previous slide showed, the word why is not helpful quite often. Trying, like for example, somebody continues to ask themselves, why did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
It's a word that kind of tries to put blame somewhere, perhaps even try to take blame away from oneself. and it's not helpful.
Exactly. Very good, Edin. And for us, especially for people who have problems or anxiety, this question why is probably they are asking to themselves. This is why they are getting emotional distraction and anxiety. Yes, Brian?
Well, I add also to that, Richard, that, you know, asking why, also it sort of becomes like an energy drainer. You know, it's like instead of looking towards finding the how or whatever to change the situation, you're always focusing on the past and asking, you know, the why, and it's really not going to, generally probably not going to help you find a solution. You know, it's like you become obsessed with the past or whatever, and it doesn't really help, because I mean, we only have so much energy. You know, we only have a finite amount of energy, that, you know, energy and time, which is wasting it on the question why, probably isn't going to change, or isn't going to give you a how to change the situation.
Yeah, very good. Just answer because. If somebody will ask you why, answer because. If you ask yourself why, just answer because. And that's it. 12:30. It's on 1 hour and a half. I cannot keep you any longer. I don't think that we are bad because we didn't reach listener Eckhart Tolle. We discuss and cover very important things. Without them, we cannot move ahead. And I'm very happy about your participation today. Thank you so much. You enriched me as well a lot. My answer was one, and I've heard all of you, and my answer is much deeper and richer. So hopefully, luckily, we will see each other this Monday, this following Monday at 6 p.m. So I look forward to see all of you. If you would like to share with us what is your takeaway, we would be happy to hear that. Valentina, I absolutely love your participation today. Your participation was very, very thoughtful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Richard. Monica, welcome again. Wonderful. You're a very spiritual girl, and your thoughts was very deep and enlightening. And our guys, troublemakers, they are all the time with us, and they are fine without compliments, right, guys? Okay, bye-bye.